Do you know what? I know a lot of people might disagree, but I actually think it's quite lovely because I didn't have that with my dad. He wasn't interested in me at all, and I still was looking for my prince or my knight, you know, who would come along and rescue me. I think that when you're brought up on fairy tales and you believe in your once upon a time and you're happily ever after, you do have that. And I think as long as it's done in the right way, I think there's something rather lovely about having quality time with your daughter.
I can see why you think that, because you didn't have that with your dad, and that's really sad. But I worry that he's setting her up for a big fall, because I think there's a difference. Like my dad, people talk, Gloria, don't they, about, oh, new man, the new men, the new man. And I always say, my dad was always a new man then, because he always helped around the house. He was a very hands-on dad, and he used to take my sister and I out a lot to do stuff. So we went fishing, we went sailing, we did all sorts of stuff. And I realised as I got older, a lot of that was to get us out the way so my mum could have a break. But he didn't do it in that kind of, you're a princess and everyone has to open a door for you. And actually, I've never really... I like a gentlemanly man.
Of course.
But I don't expect it from everybody.
Not the moulding. I don't know if I agree with the moulding of her, you know, to expect a certain thing. But I also think that the bits of romance that you can get in life, be it that, you know, your dad should be your hero to a degree.
I know, but Martine, this little girl is 3. You hit the nail on the head for me, because, you know, one of my favourite memories of my dad was he took me out every single Saturday morning on the bicycle, because he never drove a car, and we went to Bassie's shop, not there anymore, and we had a dish of ice cream with pineapple in it. I thought it was the best thing. So he gave us time, but he also gave us values. I mean, the point about saying, oh, you know, a man should always open the door for you when you're only 3.
I know,
you know, for me, it's what a parent gives you, as what my dad gave me, was values and value on myself. For example, I went to Canada when I was 17. He wrote to me, that we had no phones at that point. He wrote to me every single week and said to me, I know that you're on your own and you'll meet lovely boys and everything, but remember to put a value on yourself. Every single week he told me the story. So with the result, I never did it.
Well, I think it's lovely that they're spending time together. But, I mean, with a child, what they like more than anything else in the world is to get their scruffy clothes on and go to a park. That's what Mark always did with my kids. They love a park. They used to do a park crawl. So they'd go to all different parks.
Park crawl. That's what he used to call it. Just realised that just clicked. Oh, yeah.
But my dad, I mean, my dad, he had 3 girls, right, Arsenal supporters, so I used to get taken to all the Arsenal matches. I used to get taken to the local cafe where we used to go for, like, a breakfast. And then on Friday nights, he'd take me and Pauline out for a drink. We'd go out for a drink because my mum and him had split up. So on Friday nights was our night out with my dad. So that's what he taught me, Arsenal, English breakfast and going for a drink.
He's the reason he drinks a bottle of wine. But they do... I think the reason it worries me is I just go, you know, there are lots of lovely men, but they're not all going to be opening a door for you every second. And I don't think really modern women expect that now. You know, this younger generation growing up, I don't think that they are going to expect that from everybody. So I think he's making her, kind of putting her on this pedestal and saying, you know, you are worthy, you are a princess, you're worth so much more. And I think it's great for a father to, or any parent, a mother as well, but to give your children a sense of worth, to say, you know, you are a worthy person, you're a great person. But it's about, you said, it's about teaching manners. I would teach a young boy to open doors, and I'd teach a young girl. So if there's a man coming behind you, you hold the door open. So it's about manners, not...
There's a very well-known journalist, and she has written up a really interesting article, I think, because she said her dad, in her eyes, was so perfect that no man has ever matched up to him. And so she's had endless relationships because nobody ever matched up to her dad. And I think that that's the danger with this extreme American story, that you teach that little girl from the age of 3, look, everything I'm doing and everything I'm teaching you is correct, and, you know, I'm the perfect man, and you should look for somebody as good as me.
I have to say, Eamon's very like my dad. You know, it's funny, that theory, because when you first hear it, I used to think, no, I'm not looking for my dad, but actually there's so many traits he has of my dad, which are good.
Yes.
Which are good.
Yes, my dad was very highly principled. I mean, really highly principled. And not that I was looking for that in Stephen, whom I'm married to now, but he has the same trait. So I think you're right. I think that those kind of things that maybe you saw in your father actually attract you when you meet a man who's got roughly the same values. Maybe, I don't know.
Thankfully, Jack is nothing like my dad. You know, and luckily in the end I did meet my knight, and he does open doors for me, and I love him being a man and me being a woman. I absolutely adore it. It's the one time I get to sort of embrace my feminism and, you know, my feminine side, and him being the man. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's very funny. I was on a plane recently and I had a pretty heavy case, and this father said to his teenage son, "Go on, help the lady with her case, for goodness sake," And I thought he'd come up, just off his own steam, and I thought, that's marvellous in a teenager.
But
then he did the same thing
stand
again.
up on
He
the
said,
train and things to give people a seat. I think it's just manners.
But I loved it when the father said again, "Go on, help
You
her
do
on.
it.
Yeah.
Go on, do it again."
If you thought that got heated, wait until you watch these and click here to subscribe. You may as well. It's totally free.